Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with AmericanScousers.com and American Scouser TV. Wednesday morning, back to being the world's greatest dad. Number 2 is somewhere in Texas. And John is here. What's happening?
I'm surprised you didn't switch out the greatest dad mug for the grumpy mug. I think the
Dude,
occasion
I even
warrants
thought
it.
of it. It's funny mention that I did freaking think about it because I was like, God damn
Listen,
it, that was very annoying.
I would. I'm grumpy right now, and I didn't catch the second half. Like I caught the entire first half. That pissed me off, right? And
Yeah, I don't even know which one was worse. I mean, I thought we created
I
actually
I would
more in the
say
first.
I would say the second half is worse because from seeing obviously what people were talking about on social media and watching a few clips on it myself about the second half, you'd think bringing in Salah, you'd think bringing in Isak, right, would create a ton more, would actually have us kind of knocking on the door. We weren't even knocking on the door. We were just standing by the curb. You
Yeah,
know what I
it
mean?
was. It's very like frustrating to watch this team right now. We'll talk a lot about that. Probably is like what is the problem with like what we're doing. I don't clearly understand what we're trying to do or why we are trying to do what we've done. That's funny actually that Alan says that. I thought there's a dead body behind you.
Maybe there
Uh,
is.
maybe yeah, you never know.
I mean, even if there was, it's not like I would say there was. You know what I mean? Like,
You didn't have job. He didn't have time to clean it up, chop the
yeah,
body up
yeah.
yet, or anything like
I
that.
gotta
So
get my grievances out of the way. I didn't have time to clear up the murder. You know what I mean? Like I was so pissed yesterday. I ended up having to. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
dude, it was yeah. I mean,
Brutal,
look,
man.
and I talked about the importance of the first goal, right? And this is basically what Galatasaray does. They spent the moment they took the lead, you knew they were going to be laying all over the grounds.
Mm.
Anytime you got some kind of a momentum going, they are so smart and so disgusting the way they play this game. Torreira goes down, he lays on the floor, and nobody's ever injured. And like people were in Discord chat initially were like, "Oh, I think he's hurt." No, nobody's ever fucking hurt. These guys just lay on the ground, slow the game down. But that's why the first goal was important. And if Ekitika scores that,
Yes.
which ended up being a penalty on the other side, and you can argue that it's a soft penalty and stuff like that, but sadly they are given. And but that first goal was going to be important because then if we scored first, they were not going to be able to lay around all game. And they
Hmm.
were not able to slow things down. But every time we got some kind of a momentum, even if it was for like 15 seconds, somebody was going down. And that's how Galatasaray plays. And I feel like somebody was saying this. I think maybe it was Kazi. I can't remember who. But we, on the other hand, play like so naive. Like we went over there for a friendly and they were there actually playing a Champions League game.
Yeah. And it showed. What does Slot kind of harp on whenever we kind of drop points, whether we lose or we draw? What do we not win? We don't win our duels, right? And coming into a game like that, where it's going to be a raucous atmosphere, like you would know this of all people, right? Where it's if you're the away team, no matter how good you are, like that great equalizer is always, that stadium with, the intimidating atmosphere. That kind of sort of levels the playing field a little bit. So you got to do, what you can do on your end with the supposed superior players, right? And that's win
Yeah.
the duels. If you don't win the duels, you end up causing all sorts of problems. And we saw this against Palace last weekend. We haven't learned one thing. I would say it's practically. I wouldn't say it's the same atmosphere because obviously these boys from Galatasaray team, they know their stuff, but at the same time it's a physical team that wants to get under your skin. So it's basically another Crystal Palace, and we failed another test, right? We failed another
Yeah, I
test.
mean that's how they play. I mean they have like
Yeah,
quality players, like their
right,
midfield is pretty much like an ex-Premier League midfield for the
mm,
most part. But there's a reason why they are ex-Premier League midfielders
right.
and they're playing in Turkey now. So the quality, our quality should be and is well above them. But they kind of played with, and yes, being home and having those fans behind you helps. But we kind of like really, really helped the case.
Mm.
And so let's talk about the starting 11 because I think it went down south from that point on. And this is kind of like my biggest pet peeve over here is why the hell I mean, I realize we're trying to get Wirtz worked in and we're trying to figure things out, best formation and stuff like that. But two things we keep doing. One, you're taking your best, not, I don't want to say the best midfielder, but a key part of that midfield in terms of the running, the energy, winning the ball and stuff in Szoboszlai, and you're putting him at right back
Right.
against a guy who is going to be very physical and has speed. So I did not understand that matchup at all. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with like Galatasaray and stuff, but I would think we have a scouting department who knows what Barış does, or some dude over there who's watched the Euros to know what Barış, we call them. But this is a weird thing, by the way. Turkish players back home, you call by the first name, but the foreign players are still last name. Yesterday, I was in a chat and I said Barış. They're like, who the hell is Barış? And it's basically Yilmaz. They're like Barış Yilmaz. They're like left winger. I just did not understand that matchup, why we even created that matchup ourselves by putting Szoboszlai over there. I mean, is this basically we're kind of like bending over backwards to get Wirtz in there, and it's just not working?
It's and it's kind of valid. Like I know we're going to talk about, like we have an hour to talk about this absolute mess, right? And going through social media was very entertaining yesterday. One of the more, like, obviously there are the people who blow things absolutely out of proportion, right? Because obviously this is a loss, but then we talked about it multiple times in the Wednesday show where the format of this Champions League sort of could give us this sort of cushion. Like, even if we lose this game, it's not the end of the world. We probably still could go through. But then at the same time, there hasn't been really a super positive performance to start the year. Maybe Atletico, right?
Atletico was good.
Atletico was good. Yeah, right. Maybe the Bournemouth game to start before they came back from 2-0 down. Maybe those two. So it kind of warrants the question, and people were discussing this. Maybe we should just go back to basics. Go back to our midfield of last year. Put Szoboszlai in the 10. Get that physicality back in. Put McAllister and Gravenberch back there, and don't let them go forward as much. You know what I mean? Put Robertson back in left back, someone who's more familiar with the system. Like, look at Kirkes yesterday, man. Like his best qualities, which is to go in, guns blazing. He looked hesitant. He looked scared, which is given his qualities, given how the things that he's good at is not ideal. So you might as well put someone in who's willing to get into the fight, who's more familiar with the system. So I must say, like, I'm all for that. I don't know about you, to go back to some kind of our old system, put a traditional right back there, put Robertson in, put Szoboszlai back in the 10, and then let's just go from there. Let's just integrate the guys slowly but surely.
And that's why, when I saw the lineup, and there's like, for all those people who said like, oh, Mo is the problem. Well, there you go. Mo is clearly not the problem of like why we don't have width. So if it was anybody else, I probably would not be as pissed. Like I was thinking about that.
Right. I was thinking about that too,
the moment this show is over, we're gonna have rival bros, and we'll probably hear it from Edip too. Because and I honestly, we should probably blame him because he's the one who fucking jinxed us. When you have a United guy rooting for you, this is what happens at the end. But if it wasn't Galatasaray, I probably would not be as annoyed, and I would say, yeah, if you're gonna try something different, right? This is not a bad game to try it. We've seen the Champions League last year, so that's fine. But the problem is, I don't even know what we tried to say, oh, okay, that didn't work. Let's do something else. Because we basically if we're trying to make a midfield out of, and I thought Jones was actually fine. Jones was one of the few people I thought was hanging onto the ball and basically being able to distribute it and stuff, apart from a couple of brain farts, which they all did. Your boy Gravenberch yesterday looked like he had never played the game. Horrible first touches, just brutal first touches.
I mean, one game out of what? You know what I mean?
No, like, I know, but I mean, when the whole midfield, I think it's a matter of balance. Suddenly, somebody doesn't play that bad, or like the other guy doesn't like make like all these brain farts has to be about.
Oh yeah, I'm not excusing him.
Not knowing what the hell is going on, and not like almost like thinking more about what we're gonna do tactically as opposed to it coming natural. And I know Slot talks about some of these guys not having full off seasons and stuff like that, and that's why these substitutions are happening. But I am still not buying when you bought a right back, right wing back, right winger, whatever, but somebody who can play right back, you have a right back that you extended. So it's not like, oh, it's a temporary, it's not like a Costas or something. You know what I mean? You extended him. You're like, hey, this is the future kind of a deal. And then you have Gomez, who can play right back. Gomez, I can understand you're already down in center back, so you don't want to put 3 center backs out there and stuff. I get that. But
Yeah.
to still continuously play the midfielder at right back, regardless of how well he played it in the past, I just do not understand the thinking behind it. And aside from making room for Wirtz in midfield, I just do not see another explanation for it. Like, what are we gaining from this?
Well, firstly, I don't think we have a natural right wing to play when we're gonna rotate Mo, which I think rotating Mo was a bad decision, by the way, because I feel like this is the kind of game where we just needed. I felt like yesterday was the kind of game where we wouldn't. It wouldn't be slick, fancy football that gets us through. It would be passion, desire, and will, and maybe one really good moment of magic. And if we're gonna be putting money on which of our players, even if he's out of form, I would still put money on Mo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But obviously hindsight is 2020. So I think to answer your question, the reasoning as to why Szoboszlai was right back is because we didn't have a natural right wing to replace Mo with. If we brought in if Chiesa was registered in time, I think he would have played right wing. Maybe we have Frimpong playing right back, Szoboszlai in midfield. Maybe. I'm just trying to think about it. I mean, granted, I disagree. I would have started.
But where's Bradley then? I mean, I understand why you. That explains
Bradley?
Why you didn't put Frimpong there.
Well, he doesn't wanna play Bradley. I guess multiple consecutive games. From what I understand,
in
he's
terms
still
of minutes, but he didn't play that much on.
Hey, listen, your guess is as good. Your guess is as good as mine, man. Because yesterday I would have started Szoboszlai at the 10. I would have gone with our most physical midfield because we needed to win the duels. You know what I mean? I would put the midfield that we have would be the likeliest to win the most duels, and that's putting Szoboszlai at the 10, and then putting Gravenberch maybe alongside Jones or McAllister. I don't know. You know what I mean? So your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I don't understand. I didn't have anything against Frimpong playing right wing. I mean, Dara says it too. That's, he plays there. That's fine.
Yeah, he
that's
plays
really
there, but then no Mo Salah.
But here's the thing: they don't play like we do. I mean, I keep seeing. I'm looking at the stats right now, right? First of all, I mean, the number of tackles and stuff like that, we are way below because we were which is semi-normal because you had more of the ball and stuff like that, right? That's not a good gauge. But kind of like when you have 525 passes, they have 270, and we're seeing this game after game, but you're ultimately creating the same number of big chances.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows that out of the 525, 100 of them is Van Dijk to Konate, Konate to Van Dijk, adding so much speed to this team. In the offseason, we were all excited because we felt like, this team lacked speed, right? We added speeds, at least to the back line, if nothing else, and up top as well. I mean, you lost Diaz and Nunez, who had speed, I guess, but, you added like Frimpong, you added Kirkas, Wirtz. I mean, you added all these people who are agile and fast, and we're playing slower than ever. And I just do not understand the ridiculous. It's almost like we're doing it. I mean, we're clearly doing it on purpose, but we're stopping ourselves in terms of, attacking. I think a lot of these, I mean, there's a pass, I think, what is that, the 80th minute or something? McAllister does a pass, literally to the Galatasaray guy in front of him. That's a lot of I mean, that's not natural. Some of the balls we lost, some of the passes we did, I feel like it's not natural. It's a lot of overthinking of tactics or whatever the hell we're trying to do that people can't play their games. Alan says we're missing a Hendo or Souness in our midfield. We have that guy. We're playing him freaking right back. And that's what freaking annoys me. We have that guy.
Yeah.
He is the Hendo.
And to go to your point about players being unsure, what's gonna ease their unsureness? By playing with players that they're familiar with. So maybe go back to basics. You know what I mean? Put Salah on the right, Gakpo on the left, Ekitike or Isak down the middle, Robertson back in left back, Bradley at right back. Go back to the old system, see how it works for now. Then slowly but surely integrate the new boys. You know what I mean? Like, it won't hurt. Literally, the old system won us the league last year. It won't hurt.
Yeah.
Trust me. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing, though. I mean, okay, like, so you're gonna put, and I really thought Robertson will start this game. I still have not understood
same,
why, unless
same,
like, you know,
yeah.
I didn't see anything in the press conferences or anything like that in terms of like the why. I kind of almost assumed he would be playing. I think we all assumed Konate would sit and it would be Gomez getting some minutes, so Konate gets some rest.
Right. The thing is, before you go to your point, man, could it be, and like, we might as well start Gomez at this point, right? It could not get any worse.
That's he's been over the top bad, and this is not like, oh, his mind is Madrid's bad, because I'm assuming Madrid is looking at this and be like, well, thank God he's free, because otherwise we wouldn't sign him anyway, kind of a deal. I mean, are people who are losing their shit early in the season, are they still asking for him to be re-signed?
Remember, like 2 months ago, we had this conversation, and I think I said 200,000 was too much for him. Absolutely, it's fucking too much.
Yeah, and people lost their shit. People lost their shits, and I remember like, why don't we sign this guy and stuff? So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is the basics, but I mean, in midfield, I think when you just look at that midfield and you're doing it over and over and over, it's just not going to work. Like, it's not working, or how you want to play with that midfield is not working, because you're losing the guy who is really the engine in there. I mean, Graben controls the piece, but you know, like somebody was, you know, I think Alan was saying like Henderson and stuff. I feel like the closest thing we have to that is Szoboszlai, who, you know, might be like some like poor passes here and there or poor decision making at times where in a counter and stuff, but he is the one who wins the ball. He is the one who can, you know, like run around and stuff like that, so the other guys can do their own thing. Sada says, how can Gomez
how did Konate defend against Osimhen?
Konate defend against Osimhen? I don't think it'd be a whole lot different if you and I played, I mean, in terms of defending Osimhen.
You forgot Gomez is bulked up, man. He's looking more muscular now.
Gomez marked a ton of freaking the Gomez hate. I will never freaking understand, aside from his like injury history. I mean, they were probably the best duo we've had when he was playing with Van Dijk. Both in terms of speed on the ball, I would say by far the best pairing.
I'll have to disagree there. I'm more partial to Matip.
Yes, I forgot Matip over there. Matip did bring another level in terms of when we had the ball.
Yes, and we always had the ball back then.
Yes, and that's because we won the ball back. I mean, I'm looking at yesterday. Here's the problem. Every team now is basically saying, yeah, go ahead, have the ball. You can have the ball all you want. You can pass all you want. But once you cross midfield, we're going to really tighten up and we're going to get really like, you know, compact. And since we have no desire to go like stretch and go wide,
for some reason,
the same thing over and over and over again. It is very frustrating. I mean, if you didn't learn it from the Burnley game, if you didn't know it from the Palace game, if you didn't know, I don't know when we're going to change how we're approaching compact defenses. It's just crazy.
It's like we're allergic to put it out to the flank or to switch play every now and then. You know what I mean? Like the first time I saw Szoboszlai switch the play, which was like the 70th minute, I was like, yes, they get it. They get it. It only took 70 minutes, but they get it. My God.
But you know what? Like, there are times where we get it out wide.
Right. And we put it back to the center.
Bring it back in.
Yeah, we put it back to the center.
Outside is wide open. He doesn't take anybody on, nothing.
Right.
He just like, you know, like sends it back in. He's like, dude, we just busted our butts to basically be able to isolate you on the wing over there, out wide open. I just do not understand this. And, you know, like, you know, KG's asking, you know, what was going on in his head. He kind of said, you know, like, I understand these games, like I say, if it wasn't Galatasaray, I would probably not be as upset as I am now. But I understand trying different things, but we're not even trying different things. This trying to go through the middle when everybody they have is in the middle defending is just not working. And I don't care. the chances we created are usually on counters or we won the ball and stuff. We're not really trying to put the ball in the box from the wing. Everybody's like, oh, we're missing Trent. Yeah, because Trent would just cross it in.
Right. I was like, what?
Nobody's even trying.
Exactly. I was like, you got a big Frenchman, you got a big Swede over there at the 9. Cross the ball. You know what I mean? Just at some point, just cross the ball, hope he wins the duel, and then see what happens. They probably will. Before Ekitike got injured, I think he was our best player. You know what I mean? Like he was winning his duels. He was giving them all sorts of problems, and like you mentioned, he got that chance early on. It would have, you would have put money on if we tried to feed him, like just force feed him the ball, a chance would have, been created, whether we liked it or not. And we seem to like not creating chances now by recycling the ball every now and then when we look like we're in a good position. I don't know. It's really strange, the drop off. Like last season, you go like, yeah, okay, we were done. We finished the league. That was okay. But then this year, my God, it's.
And like this year, last year, it felt like everybody was hungover for like an entire month kind of a deal, which is fine, fair. You won the title and everything like that. It's probably hard to get remotivated to do the same thing. But I just do not understand why. I mean, I agree with this. Saito is saying, which Saito has a Gakpo and Gomez agenda this morning.
Like
I have mentioned this before, though, that Gakpo overusing Kerkez. You talked about Kerkez not pushing up. It could be one. I'm sure it's tactical. Like it feels like he's tied up after the first Chelsea game. Not Chelsea game, Crystal Palace, the Community Shield game, where he was caught out by Munoz like freaking like 5 times. That's in that game. I was like, we were all like, where the hell is Kerkez? But that's probably part of it. But the second part of it has to be he's probably sick of being a decoy for Gakpo, because Gakpo rarely plays that overlap to that dude. And anytime he does play it, to Kerkez's credit, he's able to put that ball in the box and at least a dangerous spots. I mean, I don't think he's like a lot of them have not been converted to assists, but that's not on Kerkez. That's basically on being able to finish it. And honestly, like this is interesting. Somebody had just shared the stats. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I don't know if it's in the Premier League. That's why I don't want to misquote the stats over here.
Well, before you go and share that stat, I have one. I think Isak only had 4 touches yesterday when he came in for 30 minutes.
And one of them, he had to go to the touchline to get the ball.
Which is absolutely disgraceful. Which is, it's a good thing, I didn't catch the entire second half, but hearing that stat, knowing we're chasing a game, and our star signing, the most expensive player in our history, gets 4 touches when we need to win a game.
Is it really 4 touches? That's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And one of them was like 10 seconds into him coming in, like he goes through 1v1 kind of a thing. Not 1v1. The guy is on his shoulder and kind of rushes the shots. And the only other time, and I was like, I totally forgot he was even in there, is he had to go all the way to the left touchline to get the ball. And then, he took a player on and actually tried to make something out of that. But yeah, so here's like an interesting stat. Most chances created for Premier League clubs in all competitions this season.
This season, okay.
Who is the top one?
Florian Wirtz.
In the Premier League, yes. Florian Wirtz and Grealish both have 21. Granted, Grealish looks a lot better just because, this is all competitions. So it does not include, mind you, like he didn't play the League Cup game and stuff like that. So but still, like there's like basically 2 Champions League games now in there as well. But it's the most chances created. It says I found that like really shocking because I do not recall. I mean, I'm not expecting to recall like 21 incidents, but I don't see it as, oh, Wirtz has the ball, something is going to happen now.
I guess we have to find what their definition of chance is. You know what I mean? Because
this is like Opta Joe. So yeah, basically chances created. If you go back and look at the stats in terms of chances created, and then they have like big chances created. So there's like 2 different categories they put it in.
So this is
chances created would be probably like getting across that the guy gets
onto.
Yes.
Right.
So if people can't finish, obviously it doesn't convert into an assist, and that should not be on him. It's
Right.
almost like playing with Nunez.
Right.
So there's only so much you can do, kind of an ordeal. But I just don't know if where do you think Wirtz fits? Because you went back. So I mean, does he fit on the bench? Because that doesn't make sense
Oh, obviously, long term,
financially, I guess.
long term, Wirtz being a bench player for this season is a monumental failure on everyone's part. The coach, the whoever, it's a monumental failure if he doesn't establish himself as a starter. And I know people say, "Oh, we're Liverpool Football Club. We don't like measuring our signings on money." He's going to be measured on the amount that he was purchased for, regardless whether we liked it
Yeah,
or
it
not.
doesn't matter what you measure it
Yeah, it
on. That's
doesn't
what
matter. It doesn't
everybody's
matter what
measuring.
we think. It doesn't matter how we are as a club, as you guys say it. He's going to be judged immediately, and he already is. So Slot has to find a way to fit him in. Otherwise, listen, it's going to be uncomfortable conversations. To answer your question, I still think his best position is at the 10, but then at the same time, he has to win his duels. Like that chance creation thing is neat and all, but then the number one thing that Slot has said since his first game, literally, he mentioned this during his first game, is why he brought out Jarrell Kwanzaa at halftime for Ibrahima Konate that first game, is because he didn't win his duels. So I think if Wirtz starts winning his duels, then he'll start, he'll start sort of betting himself better in that 10 position.
And honestly, like,
Yeah.
it's not like Wirtz played poorly yesterday. So it's not, the criticism is not really on Wirtz. That's the problem, I think. The criticism is not really on Wirtz and what he's doing.
Yes.
It's almost like how he's fitting in and the system he's put in. I mean, I shared this reel in like another chat as well from like Matush when we were talking about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning. He was mentioning like it's weird to think that all summer we heard Wirtz chose Liverpool because he had a conversation with Slots and Slot outlined exactly what he's going to do with him. Let's hope this wasn't it, because it's definitely not working very well. Or maybe he did not understand the fact that, like taking Sabasa out of that midfield would really mess up the dynamic that much.
Yes.
Honestly, our best lineup right now, even though I know McAllister got a lot of shit, and that pass was just like unbelievable. That was like a U8 move right there. It's like, dude, what are you doing? And it almost cost us a goal. But he brings a bit more of a calmness and at least movements of the ball to another wing. Like there were so many times that we get the ball on the right hand side and swing it over to Kirkes and stuff like that. So we can at least shift the defense a little bit and not stay in the middle between that rotten Konate Van Dijk passing back and forth kind of a deal. But I honestly think the best midfield right now could possibly be Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in the double pivot with Wirtz in front of him, if you really want to get something out of Wirtz. The only issue there is what this Szoboszlai does not have McAllister's discipline.
I was about
but when Gravenberch pushes up, we have nobody behind. Everybody's running into the box.
It's what I was saying. Like, why I worry about Szoboszlai in that holding position. He doesn't really naturally play there. So as good, it's the same argument as the right back argument. You know what I mean? There are going to be some situations where he won't know what to do due to unfamiliarity. You know what I mean? He's a class player. He'll figure it out eventually. But then it's sort of like when we had the argument, like we put Ekitike at left wing. Like he can play there, right? Technically he can, but it won't be maximizing 100% of his talents, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be against it, mind you, if that means unlocking Wirtz, but I'm still, at least on the short term, going back to basics for now, man. Like put Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, or Gravenberch, Jones,
old school. Honestly, when you put Wirtz on the left, one thing I noticed, and I don't know, like anybody who's seen the game, I don't know what you guys thought in terms of like what he did on the left, but it felt like when he was on the left-hand side, there were a lot of like good moments. But what happens is when he comes in, because he wants to keep coming in, which is fine, because that's kind of like, he wants to come into his regular kind of like the left of midfield attacking spot, which is what he did a lot in like Leverkusen as well. So he wants to come into that spot, which is fine. That enables probably somebody like Kirkes to bomb up. The catch with that is, when you have, like in the past, like Trent or Robertson bomb up, there was always somebody in midfield kind of sliding over and covering that. There was the Henderson and Fabinho and stuff like that. It was just like, well, these guys are not contributing. Yeah, well, they're defending so that the other guys can push up. It just feels like we don't have that balance. So Kerkez is afraid to push up. Kind of like what you were saying.
He's leashed.
Like he's either afraid to push up or he's told not to push up to vacate that spot, because we're not going to push up Van Dijk. He's going to be the insurance. He's not going to come more closer to stop a counter or something like that. It's all about balance, and it just feels like that balance is not there. But let me ask you this. Having said all this, if Fekir gets that goal, does that game turn out differently? Or it's going to be eventually the same thing because you still have the same imbalance?
We don't lose. I don't think we lose.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
We don't lose, that's for sure. And I feel like with Galatasaray being less reliant on the theatrics and the gamesmanship of trying to slow down the game, we could take advantage of that. Like, let's not kid ourselves. We are by far the superior team, right? Like we just happen to run into a lot of bad breaks, the ref playing it up to the Galatasaray fans, blowing for every single thing, stopping the game for every single incident. Is this how it is in Turkey, man? Because this is
how Galatasaray plays. I mean, that's the thing, and that's why was very important to get the first goal, because I knew the moment they took the lead, this is what happens. Like Torreira will be on the ground like 10 times a game and never injured. Like, the moment I was saying it in Discord, that grass is magic. The moment you fall and lay down on it, you get healed, and then they'll just pop right back up. They'll go to the sideline and they'll come right back in. So it happens over and over and over again. And honestly, that is more on the ref to kind of like take control of that and like just let it play.
I'm not even going into the penalty. What do we even have fucking VAR for, man? That is
I didn't understand that, to be honest with you. But why in this day and age? See, that's what happens when you play a midfielder as a defender.
Like literally, I didn't know this could freaking get a guy down. I don't know, man.
That's what I mean, man. You gotta do your fucking scouting. I mean, you gotta know who you're playing against.
But then the same time, man,
put a midfielder. But maybe that's why you wouldn't put Bradley, because he has a rash tackle in the middle.
Exactly.
If you put it on a guy who is known for just looking for contact so he can go down. Like, he's known for this. Like, he's known for this in Galatasaray. He's known for this in Turkey. He's known for this in the Euros, in the national team. He plays physical, and then you kind of try to get back physical with him because he's a strong dude and he's fast. So basically, once you try to battle with him, he takes advantage of you over physical, like overdoing your physical aspect. And then he takes a dive, usually is how he gets the penalty.
But then that's what we got VAR for, man. If we're talking about the basic fundamentals of defending, we can go on about how Szoboszlai isn't a right back, but there was not much he did wrong. If we're talking about that,
why are you swinging your? I mean, at this day and age, it's swinging your goddamn arms in the box.
I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know that this could let a guy fall down and go like this. You know what I mean, man? That's what you got VAR for.
I don't know. I feel like VAR was never going to overturn that.
Yeah, because the ref was playing to the crowd, man. Like, the ref was playing to the crowd, I feel.
Well, that's why you have the crowd. I mean, that's why Anfield is Anfield. That's what the purpose of the crowd is, really.
I think we could agree to disagree. I just feel like, Szoboszlai in that particular incident, he didn't do much wrong. You could go about the swing.
Where are you swinging your arms? Trailing arm does not have to keep going like that.
Well, you saw his position. He had to switch his stance because the player moved.
He cut.
Dribbled. Yeah, he cut in. So, like, his body, he had to move it a little bit. Maybe the
look at what you just did. Look at what you just did.
What do you mean?
How you just twisted. Do what you just did again when you turn.
Well, I'm not running at full speed and having to change my position. You know what I mean? Like, it's
like, why would you swing your arm
I just
around?
don't understand how you put this on Szoboszlai, man. This gets
I'm not putting it on Szoboszlai, but honestly, if our guy went down, we would want a penalty.
The thing is, it won't be given as a penalty in the Premier League, man.
It won't be in the Premier League. No, this is more like a Champions League thing. Yes, it would not be given the Premier League. But I'm just saying, if it happens to, let's say, Wirtz in the box, he cuts off, and the guy, as he turns, slaps him in the face, which, I mean, if you ever been slapped in the face, it does slow you down a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it
it
doesn't
does
make you
affect
fall
your
on the
game.
floor, though.
If you are Barish and you are, I mean, we talked about this, right? I wish sometimes, like this weekend, we were talking about Isak against Palace. You go down, you probably get a penalty. Sadly, this behavior is more rewarded, and nobody does dark arts like Galatasaray, unfortunately. But again, you gotta freaking know this going into a game. There is a scouting thing. There's like, who you're going up against.
So let me ask you, you think Frimpong or Bradley would have done better, given the nature of how the game went? We just agreed that Bradley has a rash tackle in him.
You would have to like basically roll the dice over there. You would either say, I'm going to put Frimpong so he has the speed on him, or you're going to have to do Bradley and say you're going to have to be physical with him. Okay. I think maybe he kind of went halfway in between. A guy who's slightly fast,
a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both, Mateo style, and kind of backfired. I just go back to, you gotta know as a defender who you're playing against and play accordingly.
Hey, okay, I would agree with that. It's just that I just feel like Dom was
playing against Mo, right? Don't freaking dive in. Like everybody probably knows, every left back knows, don't dive into Mo's ball because he has ridiculously fast feet. All he wants you to do is to kind of like dive in so he can kind of like do a move and get past you. And he will tempt you, and that's why people go for it, because you think, okay, this is safe now. But it's not, because he actually still has well control of the ball and get past you. But you know that. You don't just run at Mo to win the ball because you know what he's going to pull. I mean, it's the same thing. It's freaking scouting. You know what you're playing against. I felt like we went into that game like not knowing anything about. They could have given me a goddamn call, and it would be a 10-minute conversation. I could have told him what to look for. And I'm sure Soboslai probably did know what to look for playing against them. But as he's not a natural defender, he's playing it more like, he would play in like midfield. And that's like the biggest thing. Alan says Liverpool are playing like a badly tuned piano.
I think Chiesa coming in solves this like right wing Frimpong at the right wing thing. I think he's best playing as a right. I know he could play there, but I'd like someone a little more dynamic.
You think if Chiesa is healthy, Chiesa starts up top?
If we're rotating, I think he's done more than enough to warrant a chance, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not asking that. I'm asking you think he starts there?
Yeah, but he won't play the entire game.
No, exactly. I mean, that's not 90 minutes probably. I mean, honestly, yesterday's game in that sense for the attacking players, I don't know how exhausting it was.
Yeah, we barely created
lost in this mix.
We barely created anything. Again.
We lost Ali, who kind of kept us in the Crystal Palace game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not seen a report this morning. I'm assuming they're doing tests and stuff like that.
Well, I think Slot mentioned yesterday after the game he's definitely missing Chelsea. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and then, but I don't know if it's like it looked like a hamstring, but then hamstring could be 1 week to 2 weeks, so it could be back after the international break, or it could be 4 weeks.
Chelsea is the international break, right?
Yeah, and then it's United at home.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I gotta make the call, man. Like I say, they could have just given me a call. Like, they have my number. I mean, Slide has my number. Just give me a call. I could have told you all about Galatasaray and how to freaking defend them. I just don't. Those were like the things that really got to me.
The thing is, if they gave you a call, you'd probably this whole thing wouldn't have happened anyway. So Boslai wouldn't be starting it right back.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. I would have been like, no, dude, just take a pick. Put the physical guy. I would probably put Bradley on him.
You put Bradley on him.
Yeah, put Bradley on him. Make him get the yellow cards, which he did anyway. And then, if he gets the yellow card, that's fine. Then substitute him, put Frimpong back there, go with the speed instead. But yeah, I mean, obviously giving up that goal, and I know it's a soft ass penalty, it's a Champions League penalty. It does not, like go anywhere else. I don't think it's, and definitely like you said in the Premier League, I don't think that's a penalty.
Yeah.
But you got to know where you're playing. You got to know who you're playing against. So you can't complain about the calls afterwards, because you got to know. You got to play accordingly. I mean, it's clear that the Champions League rules are different. I'll tell you what, because I mentioned this. Galatasaray definitely did not play like they normally do in the Turkish league, knowing like they're not going to get the calls like they do in the Turkish league. So it's a matter of there's a position where normally Osman takes a dive and he gets the call. He didn't because he knew he was not going to get the call, and he just tried to keep going and stuff. And I thought we did. Honestly, you look at the game yesterday. Obviously, we got considered the goal from the penalty. Every situation they created was basically us turning the ball over, losing the ball at midfield in our half, just like stupidly. Like they never, I can't recall if anybody recalls like them creating a chance. First of all, I don't think they had that much possession to come in and like attack us, but I don't think they ever created a chance when we were sitting back there defending. It was always us turning the ball over, whether it's Gravenberg did it like 2-3 times with like bad touches. I was like, where is John? Call your boy, get his ass straight. It was very uncharacteristic. It was weird.
Yeah.
It looked weird because you're not used to seeing it.
Yeah, you're usually used to like the slick when he's got two guys in front of him, he somehow gets away with it. But then on the flip side of that, like it's bound to even out eventually. Like sometimes you're gonna get an absolute wall slammed into you by two guys, or you lose that control. So I guess sometimes the best idea, and you notice Slot makes him go forward even more so than he did last season. Like last season, he did not register a goal at all. This year, he already has 2 goals. So Slot is giving him his license to go forward. And I think that may play a part into why we're a bit more open defensively. We don't have that resting, holding midfield there, just protecting the back line. I think he has to, like I said, we got to go back to basics, man. Leave Gravenberg there as a dedicated holder and let McAllister, Jones, whoever, be the one going forward. You know what I mean? Like, don't none of that alternating or none of that both shit. You know what I mean?
I think they had the balance. I mean, that was the good thing. They had the balance when it's McAllister and Gravenberg. Like, they knew McAllister is a smart dude. So if he saw Gravenberg pushing up, I think that's the biggest difference between playing Szoboszlai there. He also gets excited and starts running into the box, and now there's nobody left behind. They had a good balance of like, McAllister would make those runs into the box. He got a couple of those header goals, just making a run into the box late. So he can time those. He knows when to push up, when to kind of like hold back and stuff. We kind of have lost that balance. But Slot was talking about this in an interview where he said, the advantage we had last season, that we won the Premier League. I'm sure we'll talk about this in Rival Bros with Edip too, but he said we won the Premier League because we played the same team over and over again. Like, so there was a lot of like familiarity and everybody knew what the other one was going to do and all that kind of stuff. But he said that's why they didn't have the legs in the Champions League against PSG, then against Newcastle in the final and stuff like that. So I almost feel like he's trying to do it differently this year, but it is backfiring in some cases because now you don't have that familiarity.
Yeah, and the thing is, we lost steam at the end of the season, kind of, but then we did enough to win the biggest trophy of the year, which is the Premier League. So,
but that work was already done. I mean, what he's saying is like once March hits, we kind of like punched out.
Right, but then we still did the work. You know what I mean? Like it was still done.
Slot says, I mean, like if the work is the Premier League, yes, because you already had the advantage, you had it banked, and then you kind of won the trophy and stuff. What he's referring to is like basically he is basically saying he ran the legs off of them. So when it came to playing against PSG and playing against Newcastle in the final, we just did not have the same level of energy.
But then you can't. Well, I guess the point I'm trying to make, man, is that you can't try and keep doing something to preserve legs at the cost of points. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta bite the bullet and put a bandage on this wound and stabilize things a little bit before it gets absolutely like we lose on Saturday. I think the alarm bells are really gonna start. Like, you know what I mean? 3 straight
especially
losses.
Going into an international break.
Exactly. So I think he's got to put like a band-aid on this wound very quickly. Go with what's worked. Get a result. You know what I mean? Just get a result.
And look, normally, like I said, if this was against freaking like Glint or Genk or something like that, like like Dinamo Zagreb or something like that, I probably could not care would not care as much. I don't want to say wouldn't care any less because I mean it's still aggravating to watch us how we played, but I don't. I am okay with like experimenting and trying different things. I just want to know what we're like trying because it feels like we're
Yeah,
trying the same
we're
thing
we're
over and over
trying
again.
we're trying not to tire out our attackers by not giving them service, man. That's what we're
I mean, that's another thing. I mean, like,
yeah.
yeah, Isak getting only 4 touches is a crime within itself.
Yeah.
And even Ikitike, I mean, people are like, oh, he's coming because if Ikitike doesn't come back to
Yeah.
get the ball, I don't think he's getting the ball either. He drops back a lot to get
Right.
that ball and like kind of go with it. If he doesn't, I don't think he's getting the ball either.
I think we got too much guys overthinking what the next move to their move is going to be. Where sometimes it just might put the cross in, see what happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes that might be, or lump a ball forward for the forward or the winger to chase and then see what happens. That was, I guess, the beauty of Klopp's system sometimes, where we can do like a pass you to death under Klopp, but then at the same time we weren't limited to that because we knew that Mane and Salah and Firmino could do their thing up top, and we lob it to them, and then we let them create. You know what I mean?
Honestly, we didn't like really pass to death with Klopp. I mean, it was a lot more.
Yeah, I know we didn't, but we can do it. We did have technicians in the team when we had
Thiago,
when
you
had,
wanted to kill a game off and stuff like that. But again, we complain a lot that we couldn't kill a game off then. You know what I mean? Like we were always like afraid that we were going to get stuck because we kept going. And then you would create still like because Trent and Robertson will still bomb up.
Yeah,
like we have the lead. So last year at least we kind of looked like okay, we stabilized. When we have a 2-0 lead, game is over. We're gonna win 2-0. Unfortunately, we don't have that this year either because we've given up like 2-0 leads. Yeah, it's like kind of like frustrating. And I don't know. I mean, Tony says if we win against Chelsea, everything can be forgiven-ish.
I think a win against Chelsea like calms things down a lot because we won our first Champions League game already. Like we lost the second one, but we have a few more games. We have way more games there. So if we win against Chelsea, I think that eases things a lot.
Yeah, I think you play Frankfurt next. Obviously, you're gonna play Real, but you got a couple of games in there, like against PSV and Carabao and stuff like that. Games that you should be winning. But then again, you could on paper say this could be a game, but this was probably our toughest away one in terms of like atmosphere and stuff like that. Like you're gonna go.
Didn't help that we fucking lost it, but what the hell do I know?
I mean, yeah, it should not have been a game that we lost. I mean, the worst results should have been a draw out of this one, and it was not like the Palace game where we got outplayed and Ali saved us. And like you say, Ali being lost, we're gonna find out how good Mamardashvili is. I mean, he didn't really have a lot to do yesterday. He does have a huge presence in the box, so that always helps in like set pieces and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Is I agree with Dara. Like you're basically the guys who have the ball the most are your center backs.
But then, according to that stat that you shared, apparently that's Florian Wirtz. So I think this goes into a lot of eye test versus numbers argument. You know what I mean?
The reason is Wirtz is because he's the only one who takes those chances.
Fair, yeah.
Right? Everybody's playing the sideways. Let's switch the wing and stuff like that. He's the only one. It's almost like feels like he gets bored and then tries to do something. And I worry because at times he does it pretty recklessly, like in a situation where Gravenberg is ahead of him or something like that. So when he loses the ball, it creates a situation. But I think he's probably top of that only because he tries it really the most. He is the one, and people get upset because he looks like he's turning the ball over a lot more, but that's because he's the only one trying that pass. Whereas, yeah, you're not going to lose the ball if you're just passing it back and forth in the back four, but then you're not creating anything either. But I mean, do we learn anything from this, or how will it be different in the Chelsea game, you think?
If, in my opinion, or how I think Slot is going to do it?
How you think Slot is going to do it? Because I think you basically said, let's go back to...
Yeah, I want clock. It's not that long of a clock, to be fair. It's just like a few months. And the thing is, again, what I said a while ago, if we go back to a Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberg midfield, play Salah, Gakpo up top, and work the flanks a bit more like we did last year, that was a system that won us the league.
Yeah.
So we're acting like going back to basics is a bad thing or is a very like Neanderthalic simplistic thing. It's not. It won us the league. So that's what I would do. But I think Slot is going to do something more akin to what you said. He's still going to try to accommodate Wirtz at the 10, maybe put Szoboszlai, Gravenberch together. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
To
or
play the devil's advocates.
sure.
Will we sit here? What is it now? 1st of October. If you put end of December, right?
Okay.
Will we look back and say, you know what, that persistence over there paid off because now it's working? They made
we
it
talking
happen.
about Wirtz or just
Wirtz or like the entire system as a whole with Wirtz in it? Will we come back and say, I'm glad we kind of like took those early hits, because if we played it safe, now we wouldn't have Wirtz doing Wirtz things.
I get that argument. And right now, to be fair, my whole my whole go back to basics is just a band-aid solution. Like for now. Granted, there's one game before the international break. So we can pull that shit for the Chelsea game. Then we go from there. When we come back from the international break, we got these players another 2 weeks, sort of learning each other, sort of working in the practice. Then we can continue with the trying to put them in the new system. You know what I mean? I think your argument for December is the best possible outcome.
I mean, it's not definitely a guaranteed outcome. But
it's the best possible outcome.
Keep playing it safe,
because like the thing is, like, I'm gonna go devil's advocate to counter your devil's advocate. We go, okay, we persisted, but then we're down a few points in the league. You know what I mean? The cost of persisting will be there. So we're in the race.
Okay,
but we got to
like playing Uno. I'm gonna throw the reverse card back at you then, because then here's the thing: if you play it safe now, as we wanted to, and I hear you, and I'm kind of like leaning towards that too. Use Wirtz, like don't force him into the starting 11 if you don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
But when the legs start to run off in December and January. I can see us then, you might be even, you might be 2 points ahead, 3 points ahead or whatever, but now your legs are gone and now we're trying to work Wirtzen. That's a bigger shit.
Right.
Like,
I get that too.
Mess.
I get that too. And based on how Slot goes out of his way to comment on the fact that he didn't like it that he risked his midfield losing legs towards the end of last season, he's going to go with the other solution, I feel.
Yeah,
where he's going to try and integrate the new guys in, because he's more afraid of what happened last season than sort of us being down a few points, but we managed to integrate the guys. You know what I mean? So
what I worry is when he was asked, and this is my worry here, especially for the league.
We're just talking about worrying, man. Like He is going to try to figure this out, because when they asked him to pick just one trophy, he picked Champions League. And to be able to win the Champions League, you got to be at your best come March, April, May, and not right now. So I can kind of see that, but at the same time, it can be a pain in the butts early on, like for the next month or so, as we kind of go through the more growing pains of like figuring things out. Signing a 6 would definitely help. I don't know. Yeah, what's the profile of the 6?
Because I don't think we can, I don't think you need a Fabinho 6.
Yeah, exactly.
You need another Gravenberch, basically, is what you need.
Maybe Jones with a little bit more runtime he was okay yesterday. No one was good yesterday, but I think he was solid. Like nothing really spectacular, but solid. You know what I mean?
Everybody on that pitch had a couple of brain fart moments that you can go back to. It was like, dude, what is that? What are you doing and stuff? I mean, nobody more than Konate. I thought Van Dijk was solid.
Van Dijk is like the captain of a ship that's going down. He's yelling at everyone to get into station to delay the ship from sinking, but no one is listening. You know what I mean? Like it's really annoying. I feel bad for him.
Solid, man. I mean, and I know nobody goes at him, right? Like that's why Saido was talking about not Gomez going against Osimhen, because obviously they're not, they're going away from Van Dijk on those balls and stuff like that. But yeah, Konate like was just
I get Saidu's argument, but then that was 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago. I mean, I don't know. Like it's going to be a different game when that happens and you play Gomez over there. And look, I'm not saying like, oh, you should like. I was shocked he was not taken out, and maybe the Ali injury really affected how we did our substitution patterns because you had to do a substitution you weren't planning on. It cut off by one and stuff like that. But man, yeah, Virgil is good, but if you can raise the Titanic, and I think that's where we're at over there. But yeah, it's going to be painful. You know what's going to be painful is rival bros now listening to Edip. We'll both be complaining now. Stiller. Which Stiller? The guy that we were rumored with Stiller? I don't know much about him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I know anything
about him. Is that what you're talking about, Dara? What is he, Stuttgart or something like that? You with the... Right? Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
The actor.
Zoolander, yeah.
Yeah, I loved him in that Dodgeball movie. I forget the one with Vince Vaughn.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie from beginning to end, to be honest with you. That says don't. I mean, he was yesterday, and I don't. He was think okay last year. I think he's. Yeah. I think Jones is fine. He's very underrated.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think really. Like I say, I love McAllister. He's probably like my favorite guy to watch, but he was not. Yes, Angelo Stiller. What is he? Stuttgart? Yeah, Stuttgart. I don't know much about him. I'll be honest with you. I know he was rumored before, but do you know much about this dude?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I watch Stuttgart. I know, like, honestly, I don't watch Bundesliga. I mean, the only game I will watch from Bundesliga is if like Dortmund, Bayern, or something like that happens to be on, and I just turn it on, kind of thing. I really don't watch any Bundesliga, to be honest with you. And I think I'd rather watch Serie A than Bundesliga. Even though Bundesliga games can be a lot of fun, it's a lot more open in some ways, but I don't know who even has Bundesliga. Is it ESPN?
ESPN Plus, I think.
Oh, maybe that's why I don't, because I don't think I have ESPN Plus. But one of the few things I don't have. So.
Yeah, like my God, what the amounts that they're charging right now? I think there's another increase on it.
Are they really? I think we just did this thing, and we had the option of adding ESPN Plus in there, but we were like, nah, not really. I mean, there's not much.
He might need it he might need it when the FA Cup rolls around, because I think they have the FA Cup.
Yes, they do.
I hate these fucking streaming services, man. Like, just put them all.
Be careful what you wish for, man. Everybody wanted this, right? They're like, "Don't you can pick."
Listen. The moment they started putting tiered systems in with ads and non, I was just like, I'm done. Like, fuck this, man. Like, seriously, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, I'll be honest. We literally just like redid our thing so we get out of the ad one, because honestly, once you get used to no ads. There's no way of going back.
I watch. I don't know if you're familiar with Tubi. It's free.
Yes.
It has ads, but then it's free. So fucking hell. And it has some good shows, like some old shows that I follow. Yeah.
Really? Yeah, but is it like commercials every 5 minutes for 3 minutes?
It depends on your tolerance. At times when I can't be, but there's a lot, man. But then can you really complain because it's fucking free? You know what I mean? Like it's free. And to be fair, paid tiers for like Netflix and so on and so forth freaking have ads anyway, and they come in at the most inconvenient, because my pops has Netflix. I notice whenever the things get really good for like Netflix, that's when the commercials come in. It's really annoying. You know what I mean? So I can't stand
for the ESPN Plus. Yeah, that's not going to happen. See, Dara, I heard about this when he was like rumored with us, but I'm shocked that nobody else went for him. And I don't know like what his release clause or anything like that is. I know Stuttgart was asking. It shows his market value at like 45. And I know that's, like relative and stuff like that. I was kind of like shocked that, nobody went after him. A lot of teams who would want like sixes. Yeah. So like when I heard of the name, I've seen a couple of like YouTube things. But it's very easy to make a YouTube thing for a number.
Naby Keita was the next Gerrard when you looked at his YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think, number 6 YouTube video is a lot easier to make because there's a lot of ball winning going on and like distribution going on and stuff. Consistency is the key with the 6, to be able to do that, to have the insurance for your backs and stuff like that. So, but I know, I mean, he is very Well, now he's only 24, looks like. Big dude too. He's like 6 foot. So maybe he is that mold over there. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I hate to say it. I mean, I don't want to even talk transfers or bring in anybody in. This squad has the people to do it. It's just like, and this is where Slot gets his money, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is why you play Slot. I know Eda was talking about it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it now in Rival Bros. But you
it's
kind of
not
have the leftovers from Klopp. You tweaked a couple of things you won. Now you're trying to build your own thing,
right.
and there's going to be some growing pains.
It's not Slot out. It's Slot figure it out. Right.
Yes, I mean pretty much, yeah. And I
Yeah.
have seen Slot out, by the way, which people should
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
yeah,
I was about to say there are a few Slot outs there, and I'm just like, ooh, okay, we're here now. We're here now. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I see. Like I say, I don't. That explains why I guess not a lot of people went after him. But then, is he back in action? I see an article over there from like May of Real wanting him because the Real needs more like center midfielders for some freaking reason. But yeah, so the moment we're off over here, in a few minutes, basically we'll come back. We'll have the Rival Bros with Edip. We'll hear about freaking because he was really pissed. About
No, he's gonna lay into you, man. It's a good thing you and I had a like a fairly measured conversation.
yes, exactly.
Imagine if we got pissed off at each other, and then you have to go to your brother. Like you'd probably
blame him. It's his freaking bad luck. I swear, it's his freaking bad luck. He's the one who brings it. But yeah, obviously it won't carry on from this. So once we end the stream, if you refresh in like 5 minutes or so, or actually you should get a notification. If you hit that bell thing down there, you will get a notification the moment we go live with the Rival Bros. But yeah, if you have not done so already, we did not meet the goal, by the way. Let me update you with the last numbers.
What are we at
like
YouTube?
1,500, and we came a bit short. We're like 13 people short, 1487. So please,
we'll get. I think we'll get there by the end of the month, man.
No, we'll get there by like in like a week or two, the most.
Week? Okay.
Oh yeah. Like I say, I thought it was going to be close coming over there, but need your guys' help. Just share the words, send the link to somebody, and say, "Hey, subscribe to these guys."
It's funny as well. On that note, like we didn't have much shorts over the weekend because a lot of the shorts for the Thursday and Friday show were us just talking about how good we are before the Palace game. So I was like, these would not like. I am not scheduling this. Like I had to cherry pick like one short and fit it into Saturday and Sunday and Monday. I was like we got Kazi and Anon making fun of Arsenal and how like us winning at Palace and them losing or drawing it to Newcastle would extend.
That was the dream, right? Yeah. That was the freaking dream, and that never freaking happened.
God, that did not age well, man.
Hopefully, he bounce back. I mean, you gotta kind of, like you say, the players are there, and I agree with Alan. It does feel like Wirtz, he just needs to get one in or have a nice assist or something like that. Same with Isak. I think there are a lot of players who just need that one thing to kind of like open up the floodgates. I mean, I kind of believe in the quality, I guess, more than anything else. So hopefully we'll see that soon. John, you joining us tomorrow morning, John?
No, I got a shift, man.
Boo. Because
I told you on Wednesday, it's just Wednesday. I only got Wednesdays free, man.
So we're up on TikTok to 1,139.
Well, good for us.
Once people heard what's online over here, we're getting people nonstop.
We're 1,000. Hooray. Okay, let's go, man. Let's end this.
I'll talk to Audrey so she can get in touch with you to do that dance. But thanks a lot, everybody. Like I say, join us right back for Rival Bros, where we talk a lot more about the Premier League. But I'm sure yesterday's game will come up because I'm sure Edip will somehow bring it up. But have a great day, and we'll see you guys in like a few minutes here. Take care.